Okay. Hi, everyone. How we all doing today? Are we ready for a critique stream? I'm ready. I make myself a little smaller. Why am I so large? Whee! There we go. That's better. All right. Welcome guys. We're doing critiquing today. I don't know how long this is gonna last, as it's a little late in the day, but you know, hey, never too late for this. So, sorry. Warning, I'm getting over a sickness. So, if I cough a lot, that is why. So, just letting you know. I have a lot of cough drops that I may be going through today. So, also because of that, I don't know how long this stream is. Probably not going to go for too long because of my coughing. So thank God. Thank God that it's today, because I got sick on Monday, and I was coughing. I couldn't go a minute without coughing. So I've definitely gotten a lot better. So I was afraid. I actually almost canceled today and was just gonna do 2 streams next month. But I was like, whatever, screw it. Just eat cough drops and I'll get through it. So, where are we at? We are going through the channel on the Discord. So if you are not on the Discord, you should join, because that's also where you can submit your art. Great. So, I'm going to be going in order, top down. If you're like, where did my art go? I've deleted the art that I've already talked about. So you may have missed the stream where I talk about your art if you think that your art got deleted. You can find all my VODs on my YouTube. I believe it's linked below. If it's not, the link is on my other... There's a VOD channel on YouTube, so either the link leads to my main YouTube channel or not. If it leads to my main, there's a link to the VOD channel on the main. But you'll find it. It's possible. It's also in the server, so if you're in the server already because you submitted, you can find a link to my VOD channel there. So I didn't forget about you. I just already talked about you. So, chat, you're also welcome to be a part of critique. So as I go through this, everyone who submits will tell me what they want to specifically talk about. So when we give our feedback, this is for chat as well. You guys must also only talk about what they want to talk about. All right, I don't like to go out of the comfort zone of the poster, right? Because they were willing enough to give me their art to talk about, so I don't want to step on any toes. Alright, so we're just gonna start from the top and make our way down. Yeah, let's do it. So from where I'm looking at, the first person I have is Maple, and it's a traditional art. So let me throw this in here. And, oops, make it a little smaller. Alright, what does Maple say? Maple says, how can I make the face and hair look more interesting? I want to add lighting, but I don't know how to do that with curly hair. Sure, let's do it. So I think even with traditional, something I always talk about is contrast and making sure you have really light lights and really dark darks. And I can tell that this is a darker skinned character, but even darker skinned people have lights and dark. Actually, with darker skin, the difference between the lights and the darks is going to be even more dramatic than people with lighter skin because there's way more value happening in their skin. So the lightest lights are going to be very noticeable, more so on a darker skinned person. People are real. A darker skinned person is going to have more noticeable lights than a light skinned person is. But I believe then, I'm not mistaken, I believe the darks are more noticeable on a lighter skinned person just because of like the same idea. Don't quote me on that. I think that's the truth. But let me find a portrait of a lady that we can look at for reference. Portrait. Get a reference photo just so we can look at. None of these portraits are just head on, are they? Because I want the hair too. I want the. Oh, this is a good one, but it is a. It has a watermark on it. Ah. Do I use it anyway? It's good. Why do I always have to have watermarks? Whatever. I'm using it. Oh, it's tiny. Why are you so small? Okay, hey lady. So I want to like reference the lights and darks because I think you wanted to make the face more interesting, and to do that I think you got to push out your lights and darks a lot more. So let's get me. I'm just gonna use a red pen first. So with this face, I mean, it's already very noticeable, the lights and the darks. So I'm gonna use a red for the lights. So we have, you know, light here. We have light here, right? Even here underneath the forehead's always a common light spot. I think it's her makeup, but there is some light under the eye here. We have, you know, the light. Even the lips have light, right? A lot of light. And then there's a lot of dark as well, right? We have the darkest darks, cheekbone, under the neck. Got the smile lines. We got under the nose. What else? Under the eyeballs. Only for the darkest moments. I think maybe this is a little darker than the rest. Right? So now I'm just kind of seeing where the light shines on this face, because we can apply that to your character by understanding the direct lighting, right? So if I was to look at yours and kind of apply the same idea, the lightest lights, right, would be these key moments. And hold on, what did I do? Now is not the time to glitch out on me, my tablet, please. Okay. So this nose, right, has some more lighter spots. Under the cheekbones, we have some lighter spots. Well, her hair is a little blocking it, but that's okay. Her forehead would be a little lighter. I mean, obviously your character's a little different than this person, but the same spots would apply. Then you'd have like lip light, right? And then the same thing on the other side, you'd have the darker darks applied under the eye. And then under the chin. You can even have like some drop shadow from the hair if you want. Whoopsie. I didn't mean to do that. We have to, you know, make sure we carve out the nose too. Make my brush a little smaller. And then don't be afraid to include darker darks for things like eyelids, right? And, you know, eyelashes. You can use a dark color to make the eyeballs stand out. Same thing with like the eye, like you can go darker for the eyebrows, right? I think you're blending a little too much maybe. That could also be it. So don't be afraid to leave your edges the way they are and not blend until like the very, very end. It can help you. Kind of made her look scary. Sorry. But, oh, I'm also noticing it looks like her eye might be just a tad too high on this side. I think I gotta lower this eye a little bit. So then that would mean I have to lower my shading a little. Yeah. There we go. It's a little better. Yeah, make sure your eyeballs are even. Yeah, and then with the hair, I said you're afraid of the curls, but you kind of got the right idea. I think now you just have to continue it. Whatever you did to do this curly hair, you should just go back in with a darker moment and do it, you know, add moments of darker with that same texture. So you're definitely doing some sort of stroke with your charcoal or graphite. I don't know if it's pencil or charcoal. But whatever you're using, you're definitely using a stroke of some type to, like a motion with how you're holding it, to add that texture. So I would continue doing that motion with your hand, but like with a darker, if it's pencil, you can use a darker pencil. So get out your dark bees or whatever you got, right? And still, you know, follow a light source. And then you can add a little bit. It doesn't have to be crazy because it doesn't get too light. But you can add, you know, take a kneaded eraser to it and erase out in that same motion the curls for where the light is, right? And now, I didn't blend it, but I can blend it really fast. Where's my blend tool? Might be a smudge. Yeah, there we go. But definitely leave some edges still. So strengthening your shadows is going to help make that face way more noticeable. And I think if your focus is the face, you don't have to worry about the clothing as much. If you wanted the clothing to be more in focus, you would go through and I think darken some of this as well. But I think I like that the clothing is less important. It makes us look more at the face than anything else. I think you have a great start. You just gotta push your darks. So yeah, here's the changes, right? And then here's where we started, right? It's all about shading. And that's gonna make the face pop a lot more when you get that like nice shading. Yeah. So use more pencil colors and use your eraser, and it'll pop it out more. All right? I believe in you, Maple. I don't know if you finished this piece or not, but If you go back to it or if you make another one, pop that bad boy out. All right. Okay. Let's move on. So now we have Zative, and they have two. I'm gonna pick the couch one because I think that's more Twitch friendly. And Zative says, doesn't feel like their characters interact with their backgrounds at all. The character, yeah, they're not happy with their backgrounds. They don't feel like the character looks like they're interacting with the background. Okay. Let's talk about it. So, backgrounds aren't easy. And something I always say is when you're going to do a background, you should be thinking about the composition of the background the exact same way you think about, the character. So whenever you're in the planning stage, whenever you're doing the rough sketch, you should also do a rough sketch of the background as well. So it should not be a last minute thought. It should be a first minute thought, right? So something we can do is check the perspective. So you have a floor line here. I kind of see, a floor here. Wow, would love, let me just make a straight line, please. Okay. So there is a floor down here, right? And I don't know if the couch is matching that angle or if the character is even matching that angle. Because I think, let's make a line for this character's perspective. She's a little bit more like this, right? I think the line that I'm about to turn blue. The blue line, I think, is the one that matches her perspective a lot more. So I think we gotta move the couch to match her perspective. Because the couch is on this red line, but she is on the blue line. So they aren't fitting together. So we can, hopefully, if this works, remove her from the background. See if it does it. Yes. Great. That's a good start. Isn't this everyone's favorite part, watching me cut something out? Cutting the thing all in the background. Sorry for all the clicking, guys. anyone even enjoy the part where I cut out the background? Alright. So let's match this perspective. Here I go. Gonna take this. Let's see. What I'm gonna do first is just fill it up. So I have something there. I'm gonna take this odd green block. Okay, could also be how you cropped it. So including more of the background can help make us know what's going on in the background, you know? Do my best to match this, jeez. This is raw. Rough looking. And also the floor lines. These lines, I'm gonna redo these lines because I think they're at the wrong angle as well. So let's just do this. Straighten that out. So I'm gonna grab that color. So this floor line, first off, I think that I'm just gonna reset the whole floor, honestly. That's too high up. Let me move this blue line spot. Yeah, that's where it is. So then this line, yeah, these lines are more like this way. So that makes sense. Okay, this is very rough. Let me see if I can fix this thing first before we finish it, because I think this is pretty good to go. I'm just gonna warp this. I don't really know how this is attached, but I'll do this. I'm just gonna bring it closer. It's good enough. I'm not going for perfection. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. I'm just gonna take this and extend it again. Okay, so with this, we kind of have a look at like what a different perspective on the background would do. Where'd that blue one go? So, I'm just gonna take this again and extend it. Can I have one thing work today? No, I want the stamp tool. Okay. So, I kind of just warped the perspective of the chair a bit to match a little bit more of what we'd be seeing. I think this is actually on now. Yeah. So, keep in mind the floor line, and again, like I said, if you are doing this, you should do the background in like sync, like at the same moments you're doing the character. So you should not be thinking of it as a second thought. It should kind of just all be as important in your brain as the character is. And that's going to make it look like the character is in the background, because it means you thought about how these two things interact with each other. So just for reference, this is the like little edit I did, and then here is where we came from. It's not the biggest difference, but I think the perspective of that chair helps a lot. Now, of course, there's some things with the character's perspective that can also be throwing us off, but we're focusing more on just the background right now. But if you play with the perspective of the character as well, you can also make it feel like there's three-dimensional space by making sure, you know, things that are far away are smaller than things that are closer to us. You can even go for more of a dramatic effect if you want it to be extremely close to us. Like, you can make that foot ginormous. Nothing's stopping you from doing that. So, again, just checking the floor line and making sure that perspectives line up. Yeah. Draw yourself a perspective grid or find one online. Or some programs have built-in perspective grids you can use. They're there to help you. Okay, that's it for that one. Huzzah! Let's keep going. This is from Rocks. We have this picture of these two people fighting. Oh, it's so small. Why is it so small? There we go. And Rock says they're concerned if the background is too overwhelming compared to the characters. And they also want anatomy feedback. And colors. Oh, geez, everything. Okay, clothes. Okay, so they just want an entire feedback. They listed everything about this piece. Okay, so let's start with the grayscale, and that can tell us if colors are not working. Yeah, I can see the problems. It looks like, I think what you're doing here, this gradient is a cool idea. Where I think it's lacking is I think the light part should be behind the characters' faces, and then it gets darker as we move away from their face. So that brightest moment should be up on the top. So you have like this big black void in the top, and I think that's just making us not want to look at the faces. And obviously, when it comes to characters, faces are usually the most important, and that's where you want your eye to be drawn. More than not, that is the case. More often than not. So what we're going to do is I'm going to remove the background, and I'm going to see what it looks like if we swap the gradient. If it changes anything. Okay, this is only giving me one of the characters. So I may have to manually do this. Alright. Let's see. Alright. Let's do plot. And tracing I go. Alright. Around we go with this. This is so monotonous. Okie dokie, almost there. Love when it just stops when I don't want it to. Alright, almost. Just gotta remove some stuff. Alright. It's good enough. Let's do this. I'm gonna do like a little half and half kind of vibe here. We have our blue half, and then we have our red half. And I'm going to do a little gradient inside of them. So, okay. So, I'm going to copy the colors of the original. That gradient back. And just flip them so that the lightest is by the head and the darkest is by the floor. Or the legs, I guess, in this case. Probably better linear. Now there's definitely like layers where there's like some orange in there as well, but I'm gonna not be able to do that without recreating all your layers, so we're just gonna pretend I have all your layers. I think it's just the idea of having the lighter to the dark. Oh, where'd that come from? Wait. Okay, there we go. You know, and then this one. Okay. Same idea. What is happening? Why does it keep adding things I don't want? There we go. So already, the emphasis being on their faces, as I'm already looking more at them than whatever else. I mean, you had a lot of like symbols going on, so that can also distract, but that can be a way to help. And what you can do too is something I do, is you can apply this same gradient to your characters, and it can also help emphasize them. So I'm going to select just this blue one, and I'll do a little gradient here. Then I'm going to select out just the yellow one, and then same thing. Probably just do that, honestly. I'm going to re-click my colors. Let's get those back. Alright, and then I'm just going to change this to an overlay. And you can like play with it. Doesn't have to be at, I usually go to 50. I like 50. The 40 is pretty good too. And that also will, you know, put more emphasis on the faces, and it'll also put that color scheme of the background into the characters so they feel a little bit more like thought out with the characters' colors. Let's see if I do this. Can I? Just so I can keep your background stuff. Let's see if one of these things will do it. Maybe hue? No. Light and yikes. Dark. Hard light? Maybe hard light? Hard light or linear light? They look pretty similar. Not soft light. Dim light. I guess hard light will do it. I'll just lower the opacity a little. Yeah, it's just so we can see your cool stuff in the background. But again, already, it's like adding more emphasis to the characters and less so the background. And this is also, playing with these like layer styles is a great way to add some cool mood to your piece as well. Okay, and then some other things. Anatomy, colors. Okay, there's like a lot of stuff here. I'm gonna keep it simple just because we only have so much time today because of my coughing. And I think that the lighting, is your focus. I think if you play with your contrast with your background and your characters, it'll help. And I think another way too is just also applying lighting to the characters themselves in a way that adds contrast. So like darkening areas that are, you know, farther away and stuff. Giving us like a cool drama. I mean, you already got it. You can go even darker probably on the faces if you wanted to. I don't want to go too dark because then we wouldn't be able to see them. But I think you could still do like shading normally, like how you would normal shade. And watch out, her palm should be lighter than her skin. Is it? I don't think it is. This should be lighter. Make sure you do that. Whoopsie. Where was I? Yeah, you can just add some more harsh shadows and stuff to add to the drama. You know, you don't have to overdo it, but it'll make it way more interesting for the viewer. Yeah, that's what I got. Yeah, so before and after. Nothing crazy, but obviously it's harder for me to get the lighting. I honestly would make it even more white than, let's see if I try that. I'm going to try to change the gradient a little bit. If I add a more like a white point. Let's try that. See if it does anything. Let's do a yeah, that makes it a little more interesting. Just need the colors again. Hold on. Blue, and then we got this blue. And this will be light. Yeah. That's something. Something. Okay. I think again, you play with your colors, your layer styles, and just how much contrast doing, and make sure that we're putting the emphasis on the faces and not on the background. Then you'll be good to go. Where's highlight? There it is. Yeah. Alright. Huzzah. I'm going to call it there. Let's, yeah, before and after. I think you can do this. It'll be easier when you have the raw file to work with, not just the final version. Okay. Good job, Rocks. Okay. Alright, no, this person didn't say anything, so we're skipping it. Alright, this one. Salty Sopa. Here we go. It says, I made this on a whim. I feel as if the kneeling pose is wonky, thinking of me critique on how to make it look like she's unbalanced. Okay. You just want the pose to feel more like they're kneeling. Sure, let's do it. So something I always like to do when we do posing and anatomy is just do a trace over of the anatomy that you have, and then starting there. So we have head here, right? And then we have shoulders, right? So we got one shoulder here and one, oh, they're really far away. So this one's actually here and here. And then shoulders are like that, and that's our neck. Then we have hand, other hand, we have waist. We have this knee here, knee here. Okay. We have foot, foot. Just make sure I get the width correct of your character. Okay. So we have this pose. Oopsie. Right here. Cool. So, yeah, I can see a couple issues. I think that, you know, the head has to be in the direct center of the shoulders at all times. And your head is definitely not in the center of the shoulders. So, one way we can fix that is if we just make sure we move the head, you know, to the center. The shoulders. And then you have your, it looks like your spine is more straight, while it should be actually curved back more because they're bending a little down. So we gotta make sure we're curving out the spine in the right direction. And then you have here, so something that can help is make this knee a little higher, and then this one come out a little more. So wherever this foot, right, is, well, it's still up, but this foot would be back more, right, from the knee because of perspective. So I can bring that leg up a little bit, it'll help. And then this, we might not even see most of this foot. It might get blocked by most of the character. And then we have this leg, this arm that's resting on the leg, which is coming down. We just have to make sure your two arms, oh, I feel a sneeze coming. Did it go away? Please, I don't want to sneeze right now. Okay, I think it went away. So we want to make sure that your arms are equidistant. So that cat is a little closer. So that arm would actually be bent to touch that cat because of how close that cat is. Basically, I want to make sure that the length of this arm is the same length as that arm. So it makes sense anatomy-wise. I actually may make this arm a little smaller, which means I'm probably going to bring it in a little more. Sorry guys, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. But the sneeze isn't coming. Yeah. Okay, I think this is a start. I gotta now see what it looks like on here. Just gonna move that over. Oh, hi, kitty cat. Hi. Wait, here it comes. Oh, it happened. I sneezed. Oh, sorry. That was gross. I felt that coming. As soon as my cat walks in, I sneeze. I'm not allergic to you. I swear. Oh, sorry. My sneezes are really aggressive. Okay, I'm just going to kind of warp it a little to match your perspective you want. But I think this is what we're looking at. So let me see if I can take the character out of the background. Nope. Okay. We're doing it the old-fashioned way. I see. Okay. Alright, I'm just gonna do this. Wow. Gotta get the little hookah. Oh, where'd it go? I lost it. Come back. Oh, maybe I can't get the hookah. That's okay. I'll survive without it. Unless I do lasso, regular lasso. Whee. Okay. Okay, okay, I got the character. So, let's just move some limbs around while I'm on gradient still. Okay. And, see if we can do this. So, first off, I want the head. First, foremost, I'm going to make this head in the center of the body. So let's grab all that hair. Do that. Okay. Perfect. Easy peasy. Done. And then I want to make the, let's take out, I'm going to remove this arm just for its own layer. This arm on its own layer. Just for my sanity. Great. And then let's take the torso and let's warp it a little. So we want that up here. I might have to just manually draw it, which is fine. I can manually draw it. That is not the right color. That's the color. No, it's not. Why will it not? I dropped this color. What the heck? Am I crazy? Why is it picking a completely different color? Why does it think that's the color? Something's up with the color modes. Alright, I'm just gonna ignore that and pretend it's the right color. Alright, I don't know what's going on there. But we need a little bit more. See, that's the right color. That's weird. I don't know why it's not. That's so weird. Okay, I'm not gonna question what Photoshop is doing right now. It's in its own little world. Alright, just gonna fill all this stuff in. Oh, whoops. I don't want to fill the whole thing in, just that. Nice. Let's make sure that this arm, oh, that's not the arm. This arm starts there. And then again, I'm going to warp it a little. Oh, I don't know, maybe not warp. That's the right word. Okay, let's take this arm, move it up, that should be a front of that, and then I'm gonna take this part, put it down a little, and then this part, go like this. Still don't know why the colors are wrong. I am not going to question it. Now I just gotta make sure it actually gets to the kitty cat. There we go. Okay. We're doing something here, I guess. Let's go to legs. So, let's do this leg, separate them. Okay. So for this leg, we got two. Seems to look pretty good. I think that's fine. I think we just gotta work on where that foot is, which would be a lot less noticeable. Probably back even more, which means it's like this. Still don't know why it won't pick up that green color. Oh, is that it? Did it finally get it? Kind of. Wow. Okay. This one is a little rougher. I'm gonna have to maybe just redraw it. But yeah, this is gonna be up here and then come down here. Yeah. And then eyedropper, please. Still not giving me the right color, and I don't know why. Alright, well, it's better than nothing. Okay. So, I think the last thing that'll make this all come together is if I just work the head a little bit. And I think that pose is working. That was a lot. It's a little funky looking. That's okay. So now what'll happen is it's going to affect the floor. So this floor is still not picking up the right colors. Would actually probably block some of that foot just because of perspective. Can I just get, what is going on with my colors today? Maybe I gotta refresh all of this. So that's the right color. Maybe because it's a JPEG. I don't know. So yeah, this would probably be in front of it. Might even be in front of it here. No. But instead what it might, maybe it does need to be in front. Yeah, actually I do think it needs to be in front. Okay, that's it. That's the fixed pose. With all my color dropping problems, we did it. So it was like, you know, just making sure that everything was centered correctly onto the body. I would look at a reference of somebody doing this pose because there is a lot of foreshortening happening with the knee, and we probably wouldn't be able to see a lot of what you actually drew. But yeah, you're on the right track. It wasn't too bad. It's just the off balanceness, I think, definitely came from the spine. I'm doing the before and the after. I think the spine can definitely, you know, fix the balance, and making sure that the weight in the knee is there. So like if the person is leaning on their leg, then that leg should be firmly planted, which means it's going to be straighter. It's not going to be bent so much, or else, because when it's bent, it doesn't have as much sturdiness to it. Yeah. Pretty simple. I didn't do anything crazy, but yeah, I think this is a cute little thing, and I hope that you work at it, because Because it's there. It's almost there. Okay. What's next? How many was that? That's been 4. Okay, I can do another one. Alright. Maybe do 2 more at least. Hopefully. Okay, so this is from Kiat. Nope. There we go. This is from Kiat. It's cute. They love it, but they feel like something's off. They think it's the arms, but they'll take anything. He said don't mention that there's no chin rest. Okay. Feel like something's off. I think with the pose. The arm. Yeah, I do think that it's the arm. And I think that it's this arm specifically. And I think it's because it's too small. The perspective on that arm is not correct. So let's get, let's get a picture of someone playing the violin in a similar pose. So I want the bow to be down more. That's kind of it. We got this kid. It's always a kid. Why is it gotta be a kid? Okay, here's one. Maybe I'll get a couple of them just to make sure I'm doing it right. Could also, well, these guys have it. Their bow is up more. Okay, this one. I'm looking for one that has more of an angle of the violin. This guy has an angle on his violin. Yeah, it's definitely the perspective of that arm. That the one holding the bow. Because I think it also has to do with like how you angle the violin. The violin is at a very, it's almost directly facing us, and most times, like a lot of these pictures with the violin is angled a little bit more, kind of like if we look at the kid picture, like it's more, like I see more of the side of the violin, it's more at an angle, right, versus how you drew it, where it's a little bit more head-on. It's more head-on, and yet we are also seeing, okay, so I think it's also the violin. Okay, so the violin and that arm, I think, are the two things that are throwing us off. So let's do a little editing, because I think it's fixable. Yeah, Coco, I agree. I like this drawing a lot. I like the grain in it. So let's just do this. I'm just going to remove only the 2 things we're going to work with, which is the arm and the... Actually, I'm going to keep the hand where it is, because I want to make sure it lines up. So I'm just going to take out the arm only and not the hand. And then the violin, I might just manually edit the violin by drawing over it. Like manually draw it. Because with the violin, I think you're showing us too much of this. And if I look at like this guy's angle here, this dude, right? I don't see as much of that side that you're showing us. It's a little flat. I'm gonna make sure there's an edge here. It's hard to find the edge of the. Why is my color picking so bad today? Okay. Sure. This is gonna be my. Maybe I'll go a little darker. Okay. Just so I can see where it is. I know it doesn't match your lighting, but just want to draw it out. I'm gonna base it off of that guy and his bow. His bow? His violin. I'm getting my words confused today. Hand's kind of blocking it. Let me find a different photo of that kind of angle. this guy, his hand's not blocking it. Okay. So I can see the perspective a little better. Yeah, I think there's just too much violin. Which is crazy to say, but it's true. There is too much violin. Alright, let's put some of that hair in. Great. I also think that this arm's gotta be in front, right? Yeah, that's how it's. Okay. So, a little better. Oh, shoot. Hold on. I gotta also do this. Because that's off too. This has gotta be in the center of the violin. Gotta make sure your angles are right. There we go. Great. Sure. Pretend I actually matched it. But, already, if we got this perspective change, start seeing the differences. Why can't I even eye draw my own colors? What is happening today? I think I gotta restart my whole computer. It's I haven't updated it in a while. That could also be a problem. Maybe it's time to update everything. That's actually probably a good idea. Okay, so let's get this arm in. Arm in. That's the arm. Where did the hand go? I deleted the hand by accident. Alright, I thought you deleted everything. Where did all this go? Weird. Man, what did I do? There we go. Okay. So let's look at, I'm just going to draw it first so I don't mess up. But I think this guy, the middle guy, is our best bet. Obviously he's at a different angle, but I think it's the same vibe. So it looks more, maybe with the kid. Yeah, if this is the hand, that's the arm. Always draw, that was first. It looks down a little bit more. Right? It feels like this is down more. And then we have some more, then we have some foreshortening here. Some perspective on that. Yeah, that might be it. Say might be, because I'm unsure. I just definitely think there has to be some foreshortening. Let's see. So, let me take this part, separate it. Alright. His arms just kind of feel skinny too, so I'm just gonna give him a little bit more thickness. I might have to do some manually drawing. to see the inside of the cuff, like this guy's cuff. And then you come like this. That feels a little better. Let me combine them and do a warp. Luscious hair. Okay. I think that was it. I really do think it was just that arm and the violin. I mean, this other arm may be a little long now comparatively, so I could also just... Alright, yeah, I think it was just the arms, and a little bit on that violin, and yeah, I think this is good. Okay. Yeah, let's look at the before and the now. So there it was before, here it is now. Yeah, I think that, again, it was kind of just like the whole violin. I mean, this is hard to draw. Especially because, like, none of the references I found were that exact pose you did. I just had to, like, improvise. I think if you had the exact pose and were copying it perfectly, then it would be good. But just interpreting other poses, like, is really hard to do. So I would say next time is definitely, like, mimic a pose perfectly. So even with this kid one, his bow was in a different angle and stuff, so you could literally trace the violin. Like, no one's gonna come at you for tracing the violin, right? I mean, that's just art 101, man. But I think it's great. I love the lighting. And you picked something really hard to draw, and you did a really good job, so good for you. Yay! Alright, that was Kiat. I think I'm gonna go do one more. And that's gonna be it for today. So that makes 6. That's a good number. 6 is a good number. Oh, we got Simply Anonymous. Oh, a resident go-to. And we got some character design talk. Cool. This is a common name in this channel. What does Simply Anonymous want to talk about? So we got this dude here. This gremlin kind of guy, and they say they want feedback on the OC's design. He's from a secluded tribe in a snowy mountain kind of place. He's a shaman, druid, healer, has very high status in his tribe. He's quiet and cautious and jumpy. He tries his best to be a role model, to do everything to help his tribe. He's overworked and tired. He prefers to be alone. Important detail, he cannot wear bovine fur because they are considered a sacred animal in his religion. Cool. Okay. Secluded tribe in a snowy mountain. Okay, so that's grayscale. Okay. I think his grayscale works. He could do for, like, something even brighter. Like, I wouldn't even mind, because he's very muted. Like, it might be nice if this light blue was even lighter. just to like have something push out more, like an almost white color. And if he's in a snowy mountain, I don't think it's going to detract from it being brighter. It could just be a nice way to like push it out a little more. Because right now everything's so muted. I like a moment of lightness. It doesn't even need to be the color I picked, but it could even be like the bandages or something. But it would be nice to have one moment of just light. That could even be his leg. His leg could be... So actually the leg was what I was looking at because it's very obviously mechanical. And you didn't specify the technological advances of this tribe, like how far along they are technology-wise, because it looks metallic. And if this is more of a, loner tribe with very old school, like technology from, like, old tribes, then I don't know if it would be made out of metal. It might work better if it was wooden. But again, I don't know the time period you want, so I could be wrong. But if you are going for something that is more, like, when I think secluded tribe, I don't think of, highly advanced, peoples, I definitely think more seclusion with, old school tech. But I don't know if this is a futuristic time period. I don't really know. But a lot of these, what you wrote about him makes me feel like this is not a futuristic place. So it'd be interesting because you gave him kind of like a cleft foot, it's like a cow's foot. Yeah, it could be. I agree, Coco. It can make sense to be metal if this was in the future, but Simply Anonymous did not specify if this is past, present, future. Because if we even think about present day, there are secluded tribes that exist present day, and they do not have metal working like this. This is very, especially because it's, built into, the form of a cow's hoof, it is extremely advanced. And that is not something that even our modern secluded tribes can do. They don't have that metal working capabilities. So it is something to be aware of. So, I don't know. I like the idea of the hoofed foot. You could just make it that maybe his species has hoofed feet. Or maybe... Whoa, this would be crazy. What if it was an actual cow's foot? I know you said that, bovines are sacred. So what if, as the priest, what if, because he is the priest, through some sort of sacred ritual, they gave him the feet of the true cow. So he's more, in line with their gods or their sacred beings. You know what I mean? That'd be really cool. I think there's, I feel like a lot of ancient, civilizations who worshipped a specific, animal would still use, iconography or, parts of those animals for sacred rituals. I don't know one off the top of my head. Yeah, a divine connection. Yeah, exactly. It's bringing them closer to, it says he has a high status in his tribe. So, that would be sick. I'm just writing notes. Contrast. What else? I wonder what kind of fur are they using if this isn't, so because if it's not, because a buffalo is a bovine, and it looks like it could be buffalo, but that wouldn't make sense because you said that they don't wear bovine fur. So I wonder what type of, what fur is he wearing? Wolf fur? It could be wolf fur. Or bear fur. Is it wolf? Is it bear? That could be something. Maybe it's a imaginary monster that you've created for this world. What else? What else? Interesting that he carries weapons. He's a healer. Does a healer need a weapon? Should he carry medicine instead? It's not like, should he have pouches or like pouches? He could have like plant life, like things, something else, because I think weapon does not give me healer at all. And he's already very intimidating looking with just like all the fur and the mask. So something to think about. High status. Jumpy. Okay. Yeah, I like the vibe he has. You have like this little drawing of him. He looks very friendly in your little drawing. And one thing I wonder if the eyes, he's wearing a mask, right? And you said he's like more tired. But he looks very approachable in that like this like little drawing you drew of him. I wonder if the shape of the eyes is something to play with, where they should be a little more on the sad side, or the like maybe it's more like, it doesn't even need to be like perfect. Maybe it's, I don't know. I would say play with the shape. You know, we want him to look, you're going for quiet and cautious and jumpy, right? Not giving cautious. So, even with a mask, you can say a lot about a character with just a mask. Okay, I also don't know where the, where do horns start? Are they attached to the mask? Because that'd be cool. Like, maybe the horns come out of the mask. That would be in front of here then. That'd be cool. I'd like that. I think that would be nice. Otherwise, because even in the side view, you'd have to indicate if there's more fur back here to make sure we know where the horns are attaching to. Yeah, I think this is some stuff to think about. I like where this is going, but I think, yeah, if you want to give, because he doesn't give healer right now in any way. I think you gotta, like a tired healer. We're going for tired healer. And I'm seeing more like the tribal warrior. Like the new, especially with how these eyes look, he's giving me like the new upstart who just finished training and he thinks he's like the coolest warrior in his clan, and he just wants to go out and be part of every mission and collect, be the protector of his clan. He wants to show off. He looks like a show off a little bit, not gonna lie. He looks more like a Shonen Pro tag than a sad, tired healer. So I think we gotta give. I should put this here so y'all can see this little guy, because I think this little version of him also really helps. Here's, we got this little dude. Like, this little guy really does not give healer. And I think you can push this like sad, tired healer more so than this this happy, friendly little warrior guy. He does have friendly eyes. See, I'm telling you. Alright. This is a great start. I love the outfit. I don't have any complaints. It's just, I think you gotta think about that foot a little more. And maybe like a pinch of color that's not so neutral. But otherwise, he's a good place to start. Now it's just like refining the little details, which is the annoying stuff. But I like this guy. I like Zhao. Alright, perfect timing. It's like 7:30. This is kind of my goal, was to end around here. I think that was it. I think that was a good place to end today. That was 6 people. That was a lot of people for me on stream, because there's really not that many submissions. Yeah. Thanks everyone who came and hung out with me and did some crits. If you, missed any of the other streams, there's the VOD channel you can always go to. I'm going to be streaming Saturday the 1st. It's going to probably be very late at night because I work on Saturdays. So I will get back to you. It's probably going to be later than this stream was on Saturday, just because I get out of work pretty late on Saturday. So we'll play it by ear. So most likely it might be like, depends on when I eat dinner. I'll put like an estimate time in my thing. And so I'm going to be making a poll soon. Thanks for everyone who gave me suggestions for future things for the server challenges, because my brain has been fried. I've been studying for this test that I have to take in 2 weeks, and I'm like, which is funny because I've stolen some stuff from that study book. But point being, it was helpful. So there'll be a poll up very soon for next month, and you'll get to vote for the challenge, and then we'll have our challenge stream and another stream. And yeah, back to the usual. Thanks for joining. Thanks for everyone who submitted. And I'll see you guys on the 1st. Bye.